11:45 on News Talk 550 KTSA. Jack Riccardi Show. Candidates for City Council District 1 are here today and asking the questions. Gilbert, Garcia, and Elaine Wolff from Plaza de Armas. TX.com. Gilbert's going to ask our next question. We're going to go around the room, starting with candidate Ralph Medina. Gilbert.
Thank you, Jack. I think this is one that you all can probably answer pretty quickly. Ralph, the current District 1 City Council member, Mary Alice Cisneros, earlier this year had to, or decided to close her constituent office because her office had gone over budget. I wanted to get a sense from you, how important do you think it is for the council member in District 1 or in any district to keep that constituent office open, and what would you do to kind of keep your budget in line?
Well, we'd see if there's anybody interested in donating space, but you know, actually, I think it's very critical. It gives people a chance to not have to come downtown to look at resources. But we want to make sure that office is multi-purpose, where you know, neighborhood associations can come in and hold meetings. So we need to make sure that it's in a good location, a good central location. Actually, I've even toyed with the idea of maybe if I'm elected and get a chance to stay 8 years, maybe moving it at one point in time so that we could potentially share it at least twice throughout the district. But you know, we hopefully will have the opportunity to have some volunteer folks help with stretching those dollars that we have available for that office.
Thank you. Lauro Bustamante.
Well, the issue is communications, and I'm a workaholic. My hours are 24/7. I'll have an open door policy. Anybody wants to talk to me, they're going to talk to me. In this day and age, with the communications the way it is, phones, television, cable, mail, I mean, we have the ability to communicate.
So you don't think the constituent office is that critical, actually having that building?
Honestly, no.
Okay.
I think we have other resources that can do a better job.
Okay, thank you. Diego Bernal, what's your view?
I think it's very important, and my plan's always been to try to have two. One that we pay for and one that's donated. Spread the staff around. One of the things I've also talked about is creating relationships with, let's say, St. Mary's or Incarnate Word or UTSA to get some professional school grad students there, public policy, public administration, social work, and have them do their field placement there. So therefore you have a responsive, eager, hyper-literate person there to serve constituents. And I think that we have to find a way to be everywhere all the time. That's what they expect from us. They want to be able to, I mean, us communicating with them is one thing, but them finding us is something else. I think it's very important.
Thank you. Carolyn Kelley, how important do you think that is, the constituent office?
I think it's very important. I think it's important because it's a place where the door's always open and it's a welcoming place. And I'm a nonprofit fundraiser, so I'm used to scrounging. My headquarters is donated, and I'm used to doing a lot with a little. And I'm going to have a headquarters in a very accessible place, and people are going to be welcome there.
Thank you. Chris Forbrich.
Gilbert, I think we can all agree that having constituent office is important. You know, in 2009, I ran against Mary Alice Cisneros because of her inability to effectively communicate with the constituents. Now, whether she had the office or not didn't make a difference. She doesn't have the office because she overran her payroll and rent budget. And it's just another example of irresponsible government spending, and one that we've been talking about for years with District 1 residents. And I'd like to invite all the listeners to visit chrisforbrich.com or our Facebook, and you can read about our fight with the city about wasteful spending and constituent services.
All right, we're listening to the District 1 City Council candidates. We have time for one more round of questions and hopefully quick answers. Elaine Wolff from Plaza de Armas TX.com. We'll start the questioning with Lauro Bustamante.
Y'all, let's talk briefly about the vicious dog problem. Normally I might say the word vicious sounds like hyperbole, but I have seen the emails to the current councilwoman's office. There does seem to be very much a stray animal problem in District 1. Where do we spend the money? How do we fix that? Lauro Bustamante?
Well, we start with our communities. You know, in my neighborhood, everybody looks out for everybody. If we see a problem, we call it in. We call in 311, 911, officer on duty. So it's a community. We need to get the community involved to solve these problems.
Well, let me say
have
that
the
when people
answers
call
to
311, one of the complaints we see in these emails is that people do call and there isn't a response, or when there is a response, it's so late that the dog is gone and there's nothing that can be done about it.
Okay, well, again, we can look at small businesses to come in. Okay, we can contract small businesses to come in at a reasonable cost to do the job. If the city can't do it, then we need to contract it out. Again, the community needs to get involved. It's the old, the old idea is that the squeaky wheel gets the grease. That's what the communities need to understand. Is that they need to be the squeaky wheel, and if they scream loud enough, they will get some action.
Diego, Bernal, what do we do about the stray dogs?
I think we need to take it head on. If you can imagine, the issue is someone's trying to walk their kid and there's a pack of Rottweilers. That's a public safety issue. That's not a nuisance issue, and it's not something that a very small and under-resourced and underfunded animal control office can take on. It's in some ways unfair to criticize them for that. I think we need to take animal control and make them more like a public safety outfit and fund them and give them the resources to do it that way.
So we need more officers. What else are we spending the money on?
We need more officers. We probably could take some of this bond money and build a kennel. No kill is an aspiration of the city, and I think that it's not just officers, but it's also the way they do their job. I think, look, you've got a lizard problem or a pack of chihuahuas. It's one thing. If you've got 5 Rottweilers in your neighborhood, that's a safety issue and it needs to be treated as such.
I will say from personal experience, they're usually more of a mixed bag than that, but in terms of the dogs that are together. Carolyn Kelley, is no kill an achievable goal in San Antonio given the number of stray dogs we hear about and see on the streets?
No.
And why is that? What do we do instead?
Well, my first concern is to protect the safety of children, elders, and communities in District 1. And when elderly children and public health is affected, I have a problem. And when we go and talk to neighbors and an 86-year-old woman goes out for her walk every day with a cane, and then she says to me, what do I do when I'm attacked by 3 pit bulls? That's a concern to me. And when someone in Alta Vista tells me I went to take my child out in her stroller and a pit bull ran in, and they're both pit bulls, I'm not trying to racially profile here, comes into my yard and my husband has to fend him off while I hustle the baby back into my house, and we don't walk the baby that day. That's a problem. There are 4 approaches that need to happen. We have to hold pet owners responsible. We have to enforce the existing statutes. We have to have public educations about what's out there, because in every neighborhood in District 1 there's spay and neuter. And I agree with Diego, we have to not put all the blame on an underfunded and understaffed animal control department. But what we have to do is focus all of these things, and I think our goal should be public safety and health and not no kill, because if it's public safety and health, we'll get to no kill.
Great, thank you. Chris Forbrich, very quickly, what would you do about this problem?
Well, I think that the reality is we only have 4 dog catcher teams in the entire city, right? And so we have 4 animal cruelty investigators. That's 8 people in a 1.3 million person city. And we've got a big problem. San Antonio euthanizes more animals than any other city in the country. And so no kill's a great goal. We're not there yet. But we need to be responsible for what we're doing here. District 1 is an inner city district, and it has a lot of problems with it. And spay and neuter's great, but I generally have this policy about not telling people to call 311 because I think it's unhelpful. When I was out block walking, I was chased by dogs, and I called 311, and the operator at the city said, "I'm sorry, sir, I don't know what you want me to do. The dog pound's full." And I just felt like that wasn't an answer. And so we need to be accountable to what we're doing. And dogs and trash and streets are examples of what the city council should be working on. And then I'd like to ask people to visit chrisforbrich.com to read more about our plan for New
So this is a
Day.
problem that needs more money, and you would put more money towards?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. Ralph Medina, what do you think? How many more kennels can we build? I think we just added something like 100.
Well, we're going to have to take a look at it in this next bond election. It is a major problem. It's got to be solved immediately. I don't want a child being run into a street and getting hit by a car to be the reason that we tackle this problem. It is tremendous out there. Every third house I talk to is telling me that we've got to solve this problem, and we're just going to have to take the bull by the horns, sit down together, and decide what it is we're going to do to solve this problem.
Do you have a couple ideas in your mind, though, about what the priorities
for
might
one,
be?
it's a two pieces. One is the enforcement piece, which is loose dogs, and the other one is the stray dogs. stray dogs are animals that have very little opportunity to be adopted. So we're going to have to take a look at looking to outside contractors to do a trapping type of program, because you cannot expect to catch all these dogs with people and a noose and a rope. That's not a reasonable approach to it.
So you would farm out the contracting type.
I think we'd have to, yeah, just for a stray dog, probably. The other thing that I think we need to do is that the enforcement needs to be added to any dogs that come to the pound. If you want your dog back, there should be mandatory spay for those animals. We've got to do something to keep the animals off the street. If you don't want to keep your dog off the street, then that dog needs to be neutered so it's not causing problems, not spreading the issues.
All right. Well, look, we've said a lot, and I wish we had more time, and I hope you will all come back. We would love to have you back again between now and Election Day, and I know one of you will be back probably after Election Day, we hope. But again, our thanks to the candidates in City Council District 1, Chris Forbrich, Diego Bernal, Carolyn Kelley, Ralph Medina, Lauro Bustamante. Thank you. Thank you to our reporter friends over at Plaza de Armas TX.com, Elaine, Wolff, and Gilbert Garcia. The audio podcast of this forum goes up on the KTSA.com website this afternoon, and also shortly thereafter a video podcast. 11:56 on KTSA.